The NFL is back. It kicked off Thursday night, and oh boy, I guess what a treat. I don't know. It's just nice to have football back. College football is really starting to kick off now, but there's a little controversy now in the ACC and potentially just if we'll have a college football season in general. And some running backs get some big deals. This is not PTI, but it kind of looks like it. Kind of, sort of. It's budget version. Value brand PTI. I'm Steven Delagardelle, better known as What's Crackalackin'. It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Plenty of football content on the channel, as well as, hey, leave this a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel a lot, and I'd really appreciate it. But let's go ahead and let's dive in. Let's get into it. The Chiefs and the Texans, they kicked off Thursday night, and it looked like we might have had a game early, but didn't really end that way. Let's talk about the good. At least let's talk about the Chiefs. They looked fine. They did start the game out pretty slow, but Clyde Edwards-helaire was a beast. He ended up going for 25 carries for 138 yards, a touchdown. That 20, I think it was a 27 yarder for the TD, was just a phenomenal run. He was not great at the goal line, but I didn't expect him to be coming out of LSU. I think it was 6 carries for -2 yards, but that's fine. It was just good to see him. I'd like to see him used a little bit more in the passing game. He ended up not getting a reception on 2 targets, but the Chiefs, they did what the Chiefs do, and they just targeted downfield. They annihilated the corners of this poor Texan team. And then, I mean, I think the bigger story here, outside like Clyde Edwards-helaire, was pretty nice. They got a really good showing from Darius Sneed, the rookie out of Louisiana Tech. L'Jarius Sneed, excuse me. Which was really good to see. I thought they would have brought him along slowly because he's a converter. He's converting from the safety position. But he came in and he played really, really well. Like, the Texans tried to test him, and he did good. He only allowed 2 receptions on 6 targets. He had a pick. Yeah, he had a really, really good night. I believe he had a pick. Let me confirm that. Yes, he did. Went for 39 yards the other way. But I think the bigger story here is the Texans. For all that speed they have, they it really meant nothing. I mean, Deshaun Watson's average depth of target was less than 10 yards. Like, you could tell, like, it just, things weren't going that way, like, weren't good for Watson. Like, this supposed to be now consistently good, at least. Offensive line didn't look that way. They got tore apart by not an outstanding offensive line or defensive line for the Chiefs. I mean, Clark, he was getting in there. Chris Jones, granted, Chris Jones is a tough task for any offensive line, but still, man, it wasn't pretty. And I mean, it was nice to see David Johnson get involved, but I mean, he only touched the ball 11 times because, I mean, they were playing from behind. I mean, it was just in my opinion, a very bad showing for the Texans, especially the secondary, mainly the corner position, because those corners got ate alive. They ended up starting Vernon Hargreaves and Bradley Roby, who both allowed touchdowns. I mean, they were pretty bad in coverage. John Reed was the starting slot. He didn't do really any better. We saw sprinkles of Lonnie Johnson Jr., and he didn't look good either. It was just a really, really bad night for the Texans. They weren't able to get consistent pressure on Mahomes. Charles Omenihu was probably the lone bright spot. He came in with 4 pressures. I thought that was very solid on only 26 pass rush snaps. So I thought he was very good. But yeah, man, it was ugly. It was bad. Just nothing about it was good. Even Zach Cunningham, who just got extended this offseason, he didn't look good at all. So it was just a rough night. And I mean, the Texans, it doesn't get better from here. They got the Ravens next week, so Godspeed, Texans. God freaking speed. But let's talk about what do I have next? I think it's Miles Sanders being out. You'll be able to see it. Yeah, it's Miles Sanders. He's out. He is out this week. He's not traveling with the team. It looks like it's a hamstring, so hopefully he's not out for too long. But if you are I think this more pertains to fantasy football. If you are a owner of Miles Sanders, that's probably a big hit. He was probably your first or second round pick, maybe even your running back one going into this year. And I'm not going to trust that backfield right now with it's just Boston Scott and Corey Clement. I mean, I think they're going to split carries. Hopefully you have someone on the back burner that you can rely on, because that really, really does suck. I know I have him in one league, and fortunately, David Montgomery, he's going to be playing week 1. So I got him coming in, and I also have Joe Mixon. So not terrible. I mean, for me, it's like, hopefully these guys should get volume at the very least. So I'm praying. But yeah, that's a real rough blow. But I don't think the Eagles will need it against the the football team. Excuse me. They won't. They shouldn't need it. They should be fine. I'm not high on this Redskin team. I think they're rebuilding, and they have a lot of young parts on that offense and defense, and I'm not that high on Dwayne Haskins, so I don't think they'll need him. Other injury news probably should know is that the 49ers are going to throw Deebo Samuel on the IR, so he won't be eligible till week 4 to play, so he's ruled out. So Brandon Ayuk, he might have a little uptick. If anything, I mean, I think this just means, George Kittle owners, you got a great matchup, and he is probably going to be the target of a lot of volume there in that passing offense. So good luck to you. But some running backs got paid today, a lot actually. Let's start with Alvin Kamara. He got a 5-year $75 million extension. I don't know where the Saints are getting this money, but that's a lot for, I mean, that's right on par with actually, I think, Ezekiel Elliott, who's getting $15 million a year right now. So I mean, he got more money than I thought he would, because I thought he was asking for Derrick Henry money. So I mean, is that a good move? I don't know, man. With their cap situation, they're not going to be able to do a lot in free agency. Actually, almost close to nothing. So where are they getting this money? I don't know, but they're all in now on Kamara. And then Dalvin Cook also got paid, which, hey, man, good on you, man. Good on you. And he got 5 years, $63 million, which is fine. The Vikings are another team that, it's like, their cap situation isn't exactly ideal. And I mean, you got to think Anthony Harris is gone after this year, unless they throw the franchise tag on him again. But not a great cap situation for the Vikings. But they keep their star running back in town. So I mean, the running back position, it's a very devalued position. So take that as you may. But those guys, they're getting paid. Cooper Kupp actually got paid too. He got 3 years, $48 million. So they didn't want to keep Brandon Cooks. Moved on from him. Cooper Kupp, I think he's actually better. He's much better in the slot. He doesn't handle press too great. But, I mean, he's obviously their star receiver. I know Robert Woods is there, but Cooper Kupp, he's got kind of more of a red zone upside to him. So let's talk about the tight ends and Isaiah Wilson. He got a DUI Friday night. He was arrested at 11:29 p.m. He was released on bond about 1:30 this morning. So I mean, he's back on the Corona reserve list. This is his second time being placed on it, so he's not even on the active roster. And he's a guy that I don't think he has a lot of upside. I think he's a guy that probably should move to guard. But just some news out and about. But let's talk about college football, man, because college football is in a very sticky situation right now. Before we get into the Hurricanes, the U getting a W, because right now, the ACC, they are struggling. I mean, they've had a few games today, but they need 8 more. What is it? They could postpone their season if fewer than 8 teams are available to play, because Virginia Tech's already canceled or postponed 2 of their games. So yeah, this is big, and they're talking about the SEC and perhaps even the Big 12 perhaps canceling or postponing their season. So that happens, then the ACC will probably follow suit. So I mean, a lot of college football fans out there, y'all know me, man. My whole channel is for the most part based around the draft, so kind of hoping it ain't. So if the kids want to let them, if they want to play, let them play. But let's talk about the Hurricanes. They opened the season with a 31-14 win over UAB, and they looked pretty good. They got off to a very slow start, but everything started clicking in the third quarter. And Cameron Harris had a really good showing, 17 carries for 134 yards. He did get involved a little bit in the passing game, but nothing too stellar. It was just your basic running back routes, routes that all running backs should know. Eric Keene, he looked pretty good. He threw for a touchdown. He ran for 83 yards, got a touchdown there too. Reverend Jordan, his numbers looked pretty good, but he had a really bad drop. But yeah, good on the Hurricanes. That's what I mean, okay, Quincy Roche, he looks pretty good in this game, but still, I want to see the bull rush. You think if he was going to deploy that against any team, it would have been UAB, but he didn't really. He really just relied on quick moves and such. And I mean, he played decent against the run, not great, but decent. So provided a sack, 3 pressures. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't too impressed with the defense here for the Hurricanes in a game that I thought they should have rushed. But I mean, it is what it is. As a Hurricane fan, I'll take a W. But this is honestly, for me, the biggest story. Brock Purdy really struggled today against Louisiana. Bad. It was bad. He only went 16 of 35 for 145 yards. He threw a pick. He did scramble a little bit, got 35 yards on the ground, but they ended up losing 31-14. This game really got out of reach in the fourth quarter, and it's just... wow, not a good showing for Brock Purdy, who I have a first-round grade on. So hopefully, as the season goes, he plays a little bit better. But this was not it. This was just bad. Iowa State as a whole, their defense just got annihilated. Their special teams got annihilated. They gave up a kick return and a punt return. So yeah, just not a good showing for Iowa State. But more importantly, Brock Purdy, I really want. I hope. Because he's one of my favorite prospects in this draft. I really hope he does look better. He did. I don't want to say he looked rusty, but it wasn't a great showing. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. So that's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. Let me know what your opinions are in the comments section below. I look forward to talking to y'all about some of this stuff happening. Godspeed to you, Miles Sanders owners. That was a juicy matchup, now gone. Hopefully you do have someone you can sub in. But until next time, be easy, my friends. Later.